So in 2022, I began watching the Joe Rogan podcast, and I saw Tulsi Gabbard on it, who's currently our National Director of Intelligence. And I was so impressed with both of them when they began discussing a budget that the United States of America was involved in that involved $1.7 trillion. And I realized that very moment that I had been educated enough to handle $1.7 trillion, it wasn't very difficult to me. And the best surprise I was able to achieve through my research, just like any other college student, just 35 years old running for president, looking for the class, how to run for president of the USA, there wasn't a class for it. So I actually gathered more useful information from the Joe Rogan podcast than I did from college on how to be the best president ever. And that $1.7 trillion taught me something valuable. And I think it's something that we already know. And it was that anything is literally possible. No matter how much you're struggling financially, this country is known to make anything possible. So I began handling the $1.7 trillion and all the investment strategies for the best of the American population. And it turned out that one of my favorite areas of research, outer space activities, came in at just the number one surprise of the 20th century. It couldn't have gone better. We could build another international space station with 9% of the 2022 budget. How cool is that? It's an international space station. People go out there and sometimes they live there and they always come back. The longest space flight currently is held by an astronaut named Frank Rubio. Sorry about that. It's embarrassing sometimes, but so Frank Rubio was on the space flight for 371 days. And I'm not sure if all of it took place on the International Space Station, but so I began to actually explore even more of the finance involved in all these American outer space activities that other nations are involved in. Now, it turns out there's even better news. NASA is accomplishing and achieving all these world records, all these new experiments, all these new research opportunities, and they're doing it with a $25 billion budget in some cases. It went from $1.7 trillion of potential to NASA and all these amazing achievements for only $25 billion. That should explain to you why anything is possible. No matter what if you look at me and my struggles, I can prove to you just from watching that podcast and taking that information in, that if you visit nasa.gov today, you can learn something that will change your life forever. And we were able to do that with $25 billion approximately in 1 year. Now, I'm proposing right now, I think we should double that budget about.